Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to the new Bracketology update. Joe Lunardi just came out with one for today, December 14th. I'm finally making a Bracketology video on the day that his new Bracketology comes out, so I'm going to go ahead and give a couple of quick reactions to his bracket. He has Xavier moving up to a 2 seed and had Kansas falling all the way to a 3 seed. He had Arizona falling down 2 to a 6 seed. And in Kansas' place as a number 1 seed, we have Wichita State. Then Kentucky fell to a 3 seed, and Arizona State, with their hot run that they've been on, they're moving up. I'll be going to the games in Nashville, which as of right now would see Kentucky and Mercer, and then Texas Tech and Temple, and then Tennessee and the winner of USC and Boise State, and then Purdue and Florida Gulf Coast. So this will be pretty good games to see. I'll be sure to make a vlog whenever I go. But those are just predictions as of right now. And speaking of predictions, let's go ahead and get into them. As always, I make the brackets on Brackify.com. If you're new here and this is the first time you've watched it, you can click on the link in the description to go ahead and make your votes based off of this Bracketology. I'll be doing it for most of the, or for every single Bracketology that comes out, and then for the big NCAA tournament that's coming up in 2018. But yeah, if all of them are fake if they're not created by Alex. I have a couple of those. I always name them by the date and then Bracketology at the end, and I usually use this background to it. So let's go ahead and go into a couple of quick predictions. Now this isn't going to be like a full-on analysis thing, this is just going to be like quick predictions. And I see I've already had 3 people make their predictions since I released the bracket. And so let's go ahead and start off right now. We got Villanova beating Morgan State, of course. Then I think Syracuse will beat Minnesota. Minnesota just hasn't been showing much at all this season. I don't really know whether to trust them or not. So we got Syracuse moving on, then Gonzaga beating Georgia Southern, then Miami beating New Mexico State. I think that Arkansas will beat the winner of Maryland and Butler. Then West Virginia will beat Stephen F. Austin. Cincinnati will beat Middle Tennessee, and then North Carolina will beat Iona, so no upsets there. Wichita State will beat UNC Asheville. I'm torn between this one. I think Trae Young and Oklahoma will power themselves past Rhode Island and move on. Then Florida and Boston College. You know what? I'm going to go with something crazy here. I think Boston College might win. Now, Florida's been doing terrible recently. I think they just picked up a win to end their 3-game losing streak, and Boston College has just beat the number 1 team in the nation, Duke. But I'm going to have to go with Boston College here. I think that they're going to upset Florida as of right now. Who knows what's going to happen when it comes to tournament time, but these are just going to be fun predictions for now. West Virginia is going to beat Vermont. I think Texas Tech will beat Temple. Kentucky will beat Mercer. Then Texas will beat Creighton. Nobody's picked Creighton so far. I think Mohamed Bamba and Texas will move on. And then Arizona State will beat UC Santa Barbara. Duke will beat Pennsylvania. Alabama with Colin Sexton will beat Michigan, in my opinion. And Florida State will beat Towson. TCU as a 4 seed will beat South Dakota. Then Tennessee, I think, will beat the winner of USC and Boise State. And speaking of USC, they started out the season in the top 10, and now they have to play a play-in game to even make the tournament. They're one of the biggest disappointments of all teams this season. So I'm going to have to go with Tennessee moving on. Purdue will beat Florida Gulf Coast. I think Virginia Tech would beat Baylor. Xavier would beat Northern Kentucky. Michigan State would beat the winner of Texas Southern and Idaho. And then Kyle does sports. He always comments on every single one of these Bracketology videos that I do, ragging on me for not picking Missouri. And so I'm going to go with Missouri on this one. I'm not a believer in Nevada right now. That might change throughout the course of the season, but right now I'm going to go ahead and pick Missouri to win there. There you go, Kyle does sports. And then Notre Dame will beat Loyola Chicago. I think Seton Hall will beat Ball State. That'd be crazy to see Notre Dame and Ball State facing off, even though Ball State won that last game. Arizona will beat Clemson. Kansas will beat Jacksonville State. Louisville will beat SMU, and then Texas A&M will beat Bucknell. Then first spot in the Sweet 16. So everybody picked Syracuse to beat Villanova, but I think Villanova is going to move on. And then I think Miami will beat Gonzaga. And then West Virginia will beat Arkansas. Then I have Cincinnati upsetting North Carolina. I know a lot of people are going to rag on me for that. But these are just fun predictions right now. I think Cincinnati might be able to pull off the win there. North Carolina isn't as strong as they were last season. I guess we'll see what happens. Wichita State will beat Oklahoma. Virginia will beat Boston College. Kentucky will beat Texas Tech. Arizona State will beat Texas. Duke will beat Alabama. Then I think TCU will beat Florida State. I got Tennessee upsetting Purdue and Xavier beating Virginia Tech. Michigan State beating Missouri. Seton Hall beating Notre Dame. Then Kansas beating Arizona. And then Texas A&M beating Louisville. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, Villanova and Miami, Florida. I'm going to have to go with Villanova. Then Cincinnati losing to West Virginia, and West Virginia moving on to the Elite Eight. Wichita State beating Virginia, and then Kentucky beating Arizona State. Duke beating TCU, Xavier beating Tennessee, Michigan State beating Seton Hall. I think Kansas will beat Texas A&M. I think Kansas is going to be able to figure out what's going on. Now I think West Virginia is going to upset Villanova. I'm a Kentucky fan. I want to pick them here, but I don't know what this team's like right now. I'm sure they'll turn it on by tournament time, but I'm going to go with Wichita State, who looks like the more complete team, even with McDuffie being out right now. I think his name is Marcus McDuffie, something like that. So I'm going to go with Wichita State. Duke and Xavier got Duke, and then Michigan State beating Kansas. And then for a spot in the national championship game, I would have never had this matchup projected as a Final Four matchup up until now. West Virginia, Wichita State. I'm going to go with Wichita State moving on. And then I still believe that Michigan State's going to beat Duke. I don't think anything's going to change that for me right now until I see something bad coming out of Michigan State, or Duke learns how to put teams away and close out games convincingly, not just by a couple points. So Michigan State moving on, and then Wichita State and Michigan State, two of my favorite teams in the NCAA as of right now. Kentucky's always going to be my favorite. I got Michigan State moving on and winning it all. I've always had Michigan State. The last three brackets I've had Michigan State winning. I just think that they're the best team in the nation right now. So there you have it. Those are my predictions. Go ahead and click that link in the description to vote and make your voices heard. Leave your reactions and thoughts for the Bracketology for December 14th in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you guys later. Thanks for watching.